Hey everyone, Macca here, bringing you another Gears of War COG Tag Collectibles Locations Guide. This time we're playing Gears of War Reloaded. The 33 COG tags are in the same locations as they were in the Ultimate version, but I'm excited to bring you this video in 4K and with the updated visuals of the new game. You can find the first location pretty much immediately after gaining control of your character, walking forward out of the prisons, finding it on the ground in front of you, and if either person in the co-op group picks it up, it'll unlock for both of you. You may also remember the rule where if you see a Crimson Omen logo, that means there will be a COG tag somewhere nearby. For the second location, you'll come down some stairs into the central area. You'll notice a blue banner, and in the far corner, find your second COG tag. Take care of a few enemies, and once the door opens to the outside, just run through. Watch out for some of the enemies that may be targeting you now, but go up the stairs to the left to find another Crimson Omen logo, and the COG tags to the left in the corner. Make sure you keep your eye out in the bottom right-hand corner of this video to see what subchapter we're on. So we moved on to the chapter called Trial by Fire. You'll come out of a building into this open area, seeing the Crimson Omen pretty obviously on your left, and the COG tags kind of in the middle. You'll then cross a bridge and go into this building. There will be a couple of enemies here waiting for you, as well as two emergence holes. In the far right corner on one of the pillars, you may notice that Crimson Omen logo. And just before you exit through the building on the other side, as a natural part of story progression, you can notice the COG tags on the ground to the left. Next, on the chapter Fish in a Barrel, you'll take care of a Troika Gunner and then enter into this large courtyard with this fountain pillar in the middle. There will be 4 emergence holes that come up in the 4 corners of this area, and before or after you take care of those, find the COG tags in the corner. In the chapter Knock Knock, you'll come to this area which you really can't miss. It's in front of the huge building, and you'll notice that there is a rusty white van on the staircase leading up. Go to the far left of this staircase to find your COG tags. This next one happens during a bit of a story sequence. As you come through this door, you may be introduced to a cutscene that shows you wretches for the first time, and you may also notice the Crimson Omen on the wall in front of you up top as you enter. On the far left of the room, before or after those wretches spawn, you can find your COG tag. You should then come to this quite obvious landmark as a part of the level, and then follow the hallways past the church pews. You may notice the Crimson Omen here on the roof, but you'll have to go to the next room, and you'll find it on the ground in the back right corner. Make sure you grab those. I believe Jack is needed for one of the next doors anyways.
What is this?
Immediately as you start the chapter called China Shop, you'll be able to find a COG tag kind of directly behind you at the end of the hallway near some of the fire. This one is probably one of the easier ones to miss. Another easy one to miss happens during the boss fight with the Berserker. You're going to be using the Berserker in order to gain its attention and have it break through the doors so you can continue further into the level. As you break through the second last door, you can then go into the next room and find it in the alcove at the back left of the room for 11 out of 33. Last but not least, for Act 1, at the very end of the Berserker boss battle, you'll come out into the open area at the very end. Here you can use your Hammer of Dawn to take them out, but instead, move to the left, and in the back far corner, you can find another COG tag. This is actually the last one I ended up getting and my achievement unlocked here, but you still have a few to go. We now move on to Act 2. During the chapter Tick Tick Boom, the squad will separate between 2 different directions and then rejoin each other. Once you guys rejoin, you should be able to enter this building, following the staircase downwards into the center of the room to find the COG tags. During the next chapter, you should come to this room, which you can use as a little bit of a landmark. It's a factory-style room. There will be some enemies that you encounter along the way, primarily wretches. I played through this game on insane difficulty and honestly didn't find it too difficult at all. But after you come outside using the catwalks, come down the stairs, watching out for a few more wretches above, and you should find the COG tags kind of underneath the staircase. Make sure you grab those. These can be pretty easy to miss if you're not paying attention, as they do show up while you're paying attention to other things. You should then come up this small staircase with these two arches overhead. On your right hand side, you'll see the stranded settlement, which is kind of a point of interest. Don't approach that yet, as it does start a cutscene. I believe it makes you miss the COG tag that you can find across the street before you move on. We now move on to the subchapter Lethal Dusk, still in Act 2. You'll come outside and you'll have to shoot these propane tanks in order to light them. This will light up the path in order for you to be able to walk forward. And at the end of the road, instead of going to the right, look to the left and you'll find a shack with a crimson omen on it. Here you can shoot a propane tank and then quickly sprint over into that shack in order to grab the COG tags, but be quick. You'll then come to a section where you have to use the light in order to guide your teammate across the street. If you're doing this in co-op, you can do this kind of with your partner, or if you're doing it in single player, you might have to do it a little bit yourself. I'm here as Marcus. I went up into the building to use that light and guide myself across the street, but instead I'm actually going to shine the light to the left, and here you'll be able to shine it directly on some COG tags nearby a car, and then you can just run straight at them. As long as you roadie run, the krill won't get you and you can pick it up. In the chapter Dark Labyrinth, you'll come through these hallways. You will get attacked by a few wretches, and then as you exit, you may notice a car on your right hand side with the crimson omen. Here you'll be able to find a COG tag on the ground nearby. This is before you get to the gas station. We then move on to Act 3. The subchapter is called Downpour. You'll come into this area in the rainy weather. There will be some generators you might need to interact with in order to start an elevator. Ignore that for just a second. Instead, take your first right-hand turn behind the building. Here you'll find a little bit of a dock that juts out into the water. And if you follow this dock alongside the pipe, at the very end, you can find COG tag number 19 if you've been following along. Next up in the chapter Evolution, you'll come with this stranded person into this generator room with the wooden planks. They'll fall through the ground, and you may also fall through the ground. If you do fall through the ground, don't worry about it. There is a ladder in the left corner near where you entered. You can take that ladder to get back up onto the walkway. But if you follow the walkway and then go to the right-hand side, just before the exit, you'll have to hook around this little platform in front of me so that I don't fall through. As you can see, my co-op teammate here is going to walk straight at the COG tags and fall straight through the ground. But if you manage to avoid falling through or grab the ladder on the way back out, you'll be able to grab the COG tags in the corner. Next up, at the very, very end of Evolution, or the very beginning of Coalition Cargo, you'll be able to find the COG tags at the bottom of the stairs around the corner before getting in the minecarts. I'm not sure, but I believe if you use Chapter Select to get Coalition Cargo, it'll actually skip this part and you start the chapter in the minecarts, so you might have to do it from Evolution. At the very beginning of Darkest Before Dawn, as you round the corner, you're supposed to take the left-hand turn at the fork in the road to go down the hill. Instead, go to the right-hand side, spotting the Crimson Omen at the very far end doorway near the light source. Here, you can pick up the COG tags pretty simply. You'll then come to a mandatory part where you kind of fall down like a waterfall rock slide type thing. There's a small enemy encounter right here. And then after you take out all the enemies, or during if you're playing on a low enough difficulty, you can just go up to the kind of building on the right-hand side. Instead of going up the stairs, stay low to find another collectible. A little bit later on in the chapter, you'll have to split up with your teammate, and then you'll regroup. After you regroup, you'll go through this narrow hallway that ends up opening up into this huge room with a lot of yellow lighting. There'll also be a walk-and-talk section where you have to listen to your teammate over your microphone. In the right corner from where you entered, you'll find your COG tag. Act 4 only has 3 collectibles, but we start on Campus Grinder at the very beginning. Walk forward and to the right, jump up onto the ledge, and near one of the staircases that leads into the buildings, you'll find your next pair of COG tags. You'll also notice that I'm playing as Dom here, as my co-op partner and I were testing things like cross progression and crossplay with the PS5 version. And then in Act 4, Bad to Worse, as soon as the chapter starts, you'll notice the Crimson Omen directly in front of you. Just walk forward and pick it up. During the chapter Imaginary Places, you'll end up inside of the Phoenix Estate. You'll interact with a valve that opens up the basement for you, and then as you go into the basement and follow the hallways, you'll come into a room with 4 pillars and a desk in the middle. This one's pretty well hidden, but you'll have to destroy the desk in order to find the COG tags underneath. You can either shoot the desk or chainsaw it, it's up to you, and pick up the COG tags once you're ready. We now move on to Act 5, and the next 3 COG tags were actually not available in the original Gears of War. They released in the DLC chapters on the PC version and then became available in the Ultimate version, so you actually may not know these exist, but in Comedy of Errors, you'll use a red valve, and then that'll allow you access into this next area. Go through the gate on the other side from where we entered, and here you'll find your COG tags. We are then near the beginning of the subchapter called Window Shopping. You'll come up the parking garage and end up inside of this staircase. You're supposed to go up in order to progress the story, but instead go down, and here you'll find the COG tag and a dead end. Grab those before you move on. The next COG tag can be found during Jurassic Proportions. This one's a little bit tricky as it happens during a boss battle, so you may not be looking for it. But as the boss battle starts, you can sprint straight to the back end and find the COG tag sitting behind some concrete blocks. Even on the insane difficulty, I was able just to sprint straight at it. Trainwreck is the final chapter in the game with collectibles, and it has 3 of them. As soon as you enter the first passenger train car through the door on your left, you'll find the COG tags immediately on the ground to the left. You may need to wait for the small radio conversation to end before you can grab them. You'll end up having a small boss encounter. After you take care of that boss encounter, you'll come to this train car with 2 Gatling guns on the roof. If you enter through the left door, you may notice the Crimson Omen. There's a green button at the end to exit on the other side. Instead, pick up the COG tags on the right. Last but not least, you'll exit a train car. You'll end up having to push this green button to release these large tanks. And the last thing you'll need to do is drop a like on this video if it's been helpful. Then you can walk forward, spot the Crimson Omen on the left-hand side here. Do not walk to the next train car, as I believe it starts a cutscene and locks you out. Instead, hook around to your left. You'll find some frag grenades, you'll find a door that you can unlock, and hopefully your last set of COG tags unlocking you the achievement or trophy. Thanks for watching. I hope the video was helpful. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show, and I'll see you next time. Peace.